In this video, I'm going to be telling you how to use an Xbox One Kinect to do full body tracking in VR. This means you can do full body in games like VRChat and also Blade and Sourcery. There are more, but I can't be bothered to list them all. All links will be in the description for everything you need, so let's get started. First off, you need to download the Windows Runtime 2.0. This is essentially just the driver, and after you've installed this, you want to go to this link and download the SDK. Now, once you've got this all set up, you might see the Xbox Kinect turned on. If not, then you just simply go to the SDK browser and you press Kinect Configuration Verifier. Just give this a few seconds. Now, in order to make sure that it's all working properly, you want to go down to Verify Kinect Depth and Color Streams. And from here you'll be able to see, if I scroll down, there's my hand. Now, usually this black thing here is the camera stream. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my Kinect, but it goes very, very dark sometimes. I do have lights on in this room, but as you can see, the infrared sensor is tracking my hand quite well right now. So now that you've verified that this is working, you want to go to now this is down to whoever's personal preference. You can use what you want. Some people prefer to use Kinect 2VR. This is a free open source program, but it's more tricky to set up and has much less support. So say if a SteamVR update comes out, it could break it and you might be waiting a bit to get it to work again. Driver4VR has an active dev team and it's just more simple to set up, so I prefer to use this even though it is a paid program. So you'd want to go down to their download link, and there is actually a free trial just to make sure that, you know, obviously it all works in your room and just so you can get a hang of the program before you buy it. So after you've tried it out, you can go to the link and you can upgrade your account to a gold account, which would let you use it for ages, well, forever. The trial, to my knowledge, I'm not sure on this, I think it lasts 2 hours, maybe even less, and then you have to buy it, or you can use it for 2 hours every day. Either way, it just lets you use it, makes sure it works on your PC, etc, etc. Now I'm going to jump over to me actually showing you how to set up Driver4VR now that you've got your drivers set up. So, now that you're in VR, you're going to want to go and open Driver4VR, assuming you're using it. And usually this wouldn't automatically start. I've got it set to, so as soon as the program opens, get itself set up and start. Oh, or not. Kinect 1 not found. That happens sometimes, don't worry about it. You just have to press start Driver4VR again and it'll just, there we go, it works. So now what you want to do is, assuming you don't want to mess around with any of these settings, I mean, if you don't actually have a headset, you can still do this. That's called TVR. I've never used it as I've never had to, but once you've got whatever this is set up, you want to go to New, 2 steps calibration, and as you can see, it's made a skeleton of my body. You just press calibrate, got it, stand still like this towards the Kinect. Move forward or backwards depending on where you were before. And as you can see, it's now calibrated. I might want to redo this again because if it's going yellow sometimes it means it might not be 100% calibrated. So I'm going to try this again. That doesn't usually happen, but sometimes it does depending on the lighting in your room, which as you can see isn't good for me right now. Now let's just try that again. There we go. Oh, well. You know what, it'll work for the purpose of this video. Now after this is calibrated, you want this closed. If you don't close it, it'll cause lag in your game sometimes. I have no clue why. Now that that's set up, you want to go into whatever game you have. I'm going to use VRChat that you wanted this for. I'm going to make sure that this menu is out of the way. Made that mistake last time. Okay, cool, it is. So, anyway. Now that you've got yourself loaded in, you're going to see, assuming that you have, right, if these tracking balls here, if they're not directly on your feet, then you're going to want to go back to the program and press calibrate again, but you're not going to want to recalibrate. What you're going to do is
press legs correction and just change that up or down depending on what you feel as if you need. If it's too low to the ground, put it up. If it's too high and it's in your like knees or something, put it down. Same with hips. If your hips are too high for the avatar, put it up or down depending on what you need. Now I'm just going to close that. Just going to close that too. And as you can see, I have my thing set perfectly here. So you're going to want to line these up just fine, as that's about as good as you can get. Put your arms in a T-pose shape like this whilst making sure your hips straight. Press both triggers on your controllers, and there we go. Now if I go over to this mirror, I'll show you. Just with a Kinect, you can do all this. Now obviously it's not going to be as good as Vive pucks, but it's something, and it's much cheaper. And a lot of people say it's much more primitive, and I will admit it is, but you know, you're still able to have these full-on movements like this, and assuming you have an Xbox One Kinect and not an Xbox 360 Kinect, you can even sit down. Move your legs around like this. Now, yeah, as you can see, glitches do tend to happen sometimes. They're quite rare, so don't worry too much about it. So, as you can see, I've got this all set up. Thanks you for watching.